South Africa and Vietnam to discuss combating the trade in rhino horn and increasing concern over civilians caught up in fighting in the Libyan city of Sirte. The first draft of a pact between South Africa and Vietnam on stopping the trade in rhino horn will be discussed in Johannesburg tomorrow. Officials from both countries will seek to find agreement on a memorandum of understanding. The Environmental Affairs Department says a discussion on illegal hunting and trafficking in wildlife is also on the table. The focus will be on combating the slaughter of rhino in South Africa by smugglers who sell the horns as an aphrodisiac in the East. South African stocks have surged nearly 4%, booking their biggest one-day percentage rise in 16 months following renewed optimism that Europe will deal with its debt crisis. Oil and gold prices have rallied too. The US dollar fell for a third straight day, leading to a 3% surge in the rand to 7 rands 76. The rebound follows expectations built from meetings of the International Monetary Fund in Washington, which signaled European policymakers are acting to contain Greece's debt problems and resolve a crisis threatening to engulf the world economy. European stock markets, meanwhile, ended the day sharply higher as the leaders of Greece and Germany insist they've a grip on the debt crisis. Shares closed up more than 5% in Paris and Frankfurt as German Chancellor Angela Merkel was meeting her Greek counterpart George Papandreou. The BBC's Andrew Walker has this report.
Investors are hoping that the Eurozone countries are at last putting together a programme to address the crises of government debt and weak banks. There has certainly been much talk over the last few days of a new approach, but not a great deal of hard evidence of movement. One element thought to be on the cards is debt relief for Greece. The Prime Minister, George Papandreou, has gone to Germany, where he's promised instead that Greece will live up to all its commitments, which would not be consistent with a partial default on the debt.
The Western Cape Department of Community Safety has launched an independent investigation into the alleged assault of a pupil of the Crisani Secondary School in Khayelitsha by 2 safety volunteers. The volunteers have been arrested. 18-year-old Malibongwe Melanie is recovering from a back injury in hospital. Spokesperson for the department, Joe Lennox, says they're shocked by the incident.
We will not tolerate misconduct by school safety volunteers, and the services of the 2 volunteers involved in the incident have been withdrawn with immediate effect. Now, in terms of criminal charges against them, that's being investigated by the South African police, and we will monitor this investigation.
There's mounting concern over the fate of civilians caught up in heavy fighting in the Libyan city of Sirte, where hundreds of armed supporters of the new government continue to face strong resistance from forces loyal to Muammar Gaddafi. Reports quote a government commander as saying contacts are underway with pro-Gaddafi leaders to allow besieged families to leave. Residents who've already fled, like this man, spoke of increasingly difficult conditions.
We left
Sirte. Conditions in the city are very poor in terms of gas and food supplies, and people don't have petrol. There's something preventing people from going out. It could be pro-Gaddafi forces or volunteers, I don't know, but people are scared to go out.
Meanwhile, a Tunisian court of appeal has freed Muammar Gaddafi's former Prime Minister, al-Baghdadi Ali al-Mahmoudi. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison last week after he was arrested near the country's border with Algeria. In the highest profile detention of a Gaddafi associate to date, the court jailed Mahmoudi for illegally entering the country. Top story this hour. The first draft of a pact between South Africa and Vietnam on stopping the trade in rhino horn will be discussed in Johannesburg tomorrow.